Hi, and welcome back to BreakTech. In this video, we're going to continue working on our skeleton project. In the previous video, we completed the hero section, this top section of our page. In this section, we're going to create this yellow border, and then we're going to create this three-column section with some icons, and it looks like some little looks like this is the top border to the icon, and then maybe like some H2s. It looks like they're about the same size as what we used before, so some H2s and then a little paragraph text. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So let's go ahead, and first things first, I'm going to change this comment. I'm going to make this the hero section, and then I'm going to include, we'll leave that end document, that's fine, but I'm going to include a new comment here, and in this comment we're going to say this is our divider, and we're going to use, the reason I'm not just going to use a border for this is because we're going to use this divider more than once, so I'm going to go ahead and create its own class. So let's go ahead and create a div and call it divider. And if you're curious what I'm doing to create my divs in that manner where I just give it the name of the class, I'm using Emmet. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below, and I may do a video on Emmet. But Emmet just is a shorthand that allows you to write HTML code really quickly. So I have my divider class. What I want to do now is I want to go back to my custom CSS, and we'll go ahead and use that selector to grab the class. And we're going to give it a height of, let's say, 15 pixels, a width of 100%, because we want it to stretch across the full screen. And we're getting a border. Let's just give it a, we give it a border, or we give it a background color. Let's give it a background color. And what we'll use is that same yellow color that we used before. So let's save that, save our HTML, and go look at what we get. Alright, so that looks about right. We could maybe make it just a little bit skinnier. I think maybe that looks a little thick. So let's go back here. Let's make it like 10 pixels and see what that looks like. I think 10 pixels looks better, so let's go ahead and use that. Alright, so going back to our source document, we have now another row inside of a container, and in that row we have 3 columns, each with a width of 4. So let's go ahead and add that section. So after the divider, we'll go ahead and say, what do we want to call this? Let's say it's the, oh, I don't know, it looks like they're services. Let's call it the services section. Could be anything. I mean, I think in what I did this site just a few minutes ago, and I think I just left in placeholder content. I didn't even fill it in, but we'll go ahead and just create that new section. I'm going to call it, let's see, so I want an outer div, and we'll call that services, and inside there we want a container, and inside the container we want a row, and inside that row we want 3 columns, and each column is going to be let's see, 4, and that's 4 columns. And then we want 3 of those. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually just going to create one because they're going to have almost identical content. I'm just going to create one and then copy the other 2 in, so I don't have to do a whole bunch of copying. And then let's see. Let's go back to our source image. I think we had, yeah, it looks like an icon, and the icon has a top border. What I'm going to do for the icon is I'm just use font awesome, and we can grab that from the Bootstrap CDN. So let's just search for that. So I searched for font awesome Bootstrap CDN, and we'll just grab that. And paste that in just above our custom style sheet, and we'll go ahead and add that in. And that should give us access to all the Font Awesome icons. And the way you use the Font Awesome icons is they're just classes that you add. And if we want to go check out the Font Awesome website, we can pull that up and it'll give you a list. Font Awesome is really a cool way to use icons without having to pay for them. It was all distributed for free. They do have some premium fonts or some premium icon fonts. And if you're interested or if you want to use those, they really are cool. But for now, let's just go ahead and go to icons. And you can grab any icons you want. I think I use like the airplane. I think I use all like vehicle icons before. So let me see here. I think there's like an airplane, a car. Oops. So there's an airplane, a paper airplane. There's a car, I believe. And then there's like a rocket. I think I use the rocket. So let's go ahead and just grab the rocket. So just click that and it'll give us the name. They come in like 6 different sizes. And I'm pretty sure I'm using like this size here, which is the 2X, I believe. So you just copy this and paste it into your code. So inside of my 4-column div, I will add my rocket. Below that, or next to that, we'll have an H2, and I believe it said window cleaning. So we can go ahead and copy that, paste in window cleaning. And then below that, we just have some paragraph of text. And I'll just use some lorem. In Atom, you just type lorem and then hit tab, and it'll give you a lorem ipsum. I don't need quite this much, so I'm going to go ahead and delete some. Even that might be too much. Oh, well, maybe I need more than that. That's okay. Alright, so let's save that off and go have a look at what we've got. Alright, so it's pretty close. I see we have to grab a larger rocket. I think it's FA-3X. This is a guess, so if this is wrong. Alright, that works. Let's do 4X. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Alright, so let's see what additional styling. I think we want to float the rocket to the left so that the rocket and the window cleaning will be on the same line. So let's go ahead and see what Skeleton has to offer as far as floating. So you pull left. So let's go ahead and take that class and let's add that to the rocket and see what happens. Alright, that's pretty close to what we want. I think the icon just needs a little bit of margin around it, and I think we'd be set there. And then I think probably we needed a little more text, but that's okay. And then what else does our source image have? So in our source image, the icon is yellow. It has a top border, and then the text is all white. So I think we're pretty close. Let's go to our custom styles. Let's start with the icon. So we can just style our I class. I'm not planning to have any more icons other than these icons, so we can style the whole class. Let's just say that the color should be that same yellow color. Oops. And we also wanted to add some margin. And I think like 15 pixels on all sides would give it enough space. Let's go ahead and have a look at that and see what we think. It's pretty close. I think it needs some padding on the top of like, oh, I don't know, like another 20 pixels. Let's see what that looks like. It's It's pretty good. And then I think the whole column is going to need a little padding as well. Or I guess our what do we call it? Our services div is going to need some padding on top. So let's go ahead and add that. And I'm going to add, since we used 50 pixels in the hero image section, I'm going to add 50 pixels here as well. So let's go see if that sort of fixes it. It does. I think the text is a little too large, or maybe the icon's a little too small. Either way, I want to shrink the text a little bit. So let's say our .services. Oh, actually, we don't need to change the styling. We can just change it from an H2 to like an H3 or H4 and see if that looks better. I think I like that a lot better, but I do want a font weight bold. So let's say .services what do we make it, an H3? Let's make it a font weight bold. And I think that looks very good. Okay. So the other thing you notice is that we don't have that gray background. So let's see what color that gray background is. It's a pretty cool gray. Let's go ahead and grab it. So background. And then if we're going to do that, we want to change the color of all our text to white. All right. So it looks like I've added it to the wrong. Let's see. Let's inspect that and see what we've done wrong here. So where did I put that padding of 50? I put it on. I put it on the services div, which maybe isn't what I wanted. Because we want it to be right up against the divider. So let's actually check the divider to see if it has any additional spacing on it. Now it doesn't. Yeah, so that was actually the wrong place to put padding. I probably want to put the padding on my container. And let's go ahead and change this to, let's change that div to gray, a class of gray. Oh, that's what I've done. Okay, so I've put, actually what I did was I put the background in the wrong place. I wanted it in the services itself, and I put it on the H3 by accident. That makes sense. All right, so we can go ahead and fix that. We can put services back where it was. All right, so let's save that off. And that should fix our color, and it should all be gray, and it should be flush with the divider above it. Yeah, so that's actually looking pretty good. Not sure why we're getting this on a new line. Seems like we have plenty of space for it to be on one. Oops, sorry. Recording on my laptop, and it is not quite as powerful as it needs to be for this. So going right along with this, let's go ahead and add that border top to our icon. So on top of there, we want we're gonna want, let's say, like 2 pixels solid, and we want that same yellow color. And let's see what that looks like. We're not going for like an absolute perfect copy of the pages that already exist. We're looking to kind of capture the feel of it, the design really, but not really the pixel perfect like actual layout. So that looks pretty cool. I mean, as you can see, like the icons on our source image are outlined and look a little bit cooler on the gray, but I think it's fine. So let's go ahead and add, we added margin 15. And a little padding to the top. Yeah, I think that's fine. Alright, so I decided to change things up just a little bit. What I did was I added a display inline block to .fa. The .fa class is one of the classes that comes with Font Awesome. So anytime I use an icon, I will have the FA class on my item already. So I went ahead and added display inline block, and now what that's done is that's lined up my items quite a bit better, I think. So I have the text directly next to the icon, the borders on top of the icon, and then as I hit the breakpoint, it pops down below. Now we still need to change the color of the text here. So we can say services. Actually, we just add it in .services if we want to. Add it white. And that looks pretty good. So we can go ahead now and copy everything in that 4 columns and make 2 more of those. Now if we want to change the icons, we can go back to Font Awesome and just pick a couple different ones. This is the rocket, but we can also use that, I think I used that paper airplane. Oh, I hit back one too many times. So we'll have the plane in the car. I'll use the paper airplane. Oops. There we go. Grab the paper airplane. And then I believe the other one's just FA-car. So we'll save those off and have a look at our page. And I think that looks pretty awesome. And as we get big enough, they go side to side. We could have a little more text here. I think we'll go ahead and add that. Maybe just an extra sentence. And I will cut the rest and then copy and paste that sentence in as well. I think that'll make it look just a little better. Yeah, that looks perfect. Okay, so let's compare that to our source image. Again, it's not going to be perfect. I think they're using bold text, and obviously when it's real words and you can read it, it looks a little nicer. And then it also looks like they've added some padding of maybe like 5 or 10 pixels inside of these images so that the icons are a little, or I'm sorry, the border's a little larger than the icon. But that's okay, I think it's fine. So in the next video, we'll go ahead and do the testimonial section, and we may get the license and insured section done as well, since they're both very similar. Thanks for watching. This has been Doug with Break Tech, and if you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe.